What's up, guys? SnowShovel here, and I'm going to talk about the para in depth, which means I'll be going over mods, characteristics of the gun, and also how you should use it and how you should not use it. And I'm going to be having help from fellow DC member Force here in a little bit, but first of all, I'll go over mods with you, try and break some of these myths. I'll go over each one of these separately. First of all, Spetsnaz Edition, barrel, whatever. This adds moveshot accuracy, and it also helps decrease the bloom when you're spraying it. But you also lose the damage increase, which is very important to have on the para. This is a beginner's barrel, or this is a headshot barrel, because of the fact that you just don't do enough not chest damage, body damage to the enemies. So you only want to use this if you're trying to get headshots or if you're new to the gun. Heavy barrel you should just stay away from. There's nothing appealing about these stats whatsoever. That accuracy bonus is a lie. It doesn't actually add accuracy. It doesn't do anything. In fact, the range bonus I've noticed is almost the exact same as without it. So it's like, why even use this barrel? It's terrible. Long range barrel adds range damage. Also doesn't reduce the rate of fire like reinforced does. This is useful if you are really good at tapping, but it's not so useful if you aren't. So I don't know. It's usually a toss-up between these two if you want to spray. I would use reinforced if you have trouble clicking really fast, or if you accidentally burst really often like I used to. I mean, that was the reason why I started using reinforced, was because I had an issue with that. But ever since I got my new mouse, I haven't really had that issue, so been using long range since. But yeah, usually a toss-up. They do relatively the same damage. Reinforces slightly more damage up close with the rate of fire loss, and then long range is better at long range, obviously, and there's no rate of fire loss. So you choose between these two. Use this one if you don't know either. I don't know. Mix and match. Find out what you like. But ergonomic grip, sorry. All around goodness. Always equip it. It's very good. Don't see why not. There's nothing wrong about it. It does help with the move shot. ACOG, I would avoid. It's pretty pointless. I'd rather have the zoom in, and it also takes up a lot of the screen, so I avoid this. Recoil control stock. Basically, it adds a slight amount of bloom, and it decreases the amount of recoil. Before I continue, the difference between recoil and bloom is that recoil is the amount of kick that a gun will have. Basically, the amount the crosshair will move up is the amount of recoil it has. Bloom is when the crosshair gets bigger. Bloom is bad. You do not want bloom, because bloom creates randomness. So you don't want that. You'd rather have recoil, I would say. But at the same time, you have to choose between having more recoil or more bloom. And the one thing you can control is recoil, so you usually do not want to use this. You'd rather have the bloom, or the recoil, than the bloom. So I don't know. If you're a beginner and you have trouble with your recoil control, then you might want to use this. Otherwise, I would avoid it. Shock absorber. A lot of people use this. I have no idea why. The move shot accuracy on the shock absorber is completely awful. I don't even know how to begin to describe this. Basically, when you move around and you have the shock absorber on, the crosshair is huge. And this is terrible because you need that one-shot accuracy. And you want to have that at all times, not when you're only holding shift. So I would avoid this. The accuracy bonus is only applied at long range. And this gun isn't meant for long range, so why would you put this on? It's a terrible mod. And then precision trigger just basically it increases the move shot accuracy, and it decreases bloom as well, but it increases the recoil slightly. So I mean, I would use this, but personally I just don't see the difference. It's very slight. It's very minimal difference. You just get a slight move shot accuracy with a bit more recoil. But yeah, I don't use it because I just feel like it's a waste of 1100 euro. But yeah, or not 1100 euro, 1000. My bad. But yeah, these two barrels, by the way, want to say this. They have the exact same stability. Okay, they don't The reinforced barrel doesn't have a bloom delay or increases bloom or anything. They have the exact same recoil pattern. The only difference is this one shoots faster and this one does more damage and has less rate of fire. They have the exact same pattern. So if anyone tells you that these two have a different pattern, that reinforced is worse, or for whatever, exact same pattern. So I don't know what to say. Like, they just have the exact same pattern. There's no difference whatsoever. It's just the rate of fire difference. But yeah, those are the mods for the para. You choose which ones are good for you, not someone else. Remember that. You shouldn't just use my mods because I use them. You should use mods that you prefer. And you will find out what you like based off of just experimenting, basically. Just finding out what suits you. What your playstyle is. If you like one-shotting more, you might want to use a Spets barrel. Or if you like spraying more, or tap shooting, I should say, you might like the trigger and grip with the long-range barrel. But you know, you just choose what you like, find out what you like, and then use it. But don't just use someone else's mods because they use them. Like, find out for yourself what you like. But anyway, I'm gonna go into a game with Force, and I'm gonna go over the playstyle that you should have with the para, and I'll go over some stats and some proper, I don't know. I'll just go over it with you guys. Anyway, BAM! SnowShovel and Force in an FFA. Gonna go over the fundamentals of the para and proper playstyle. So let's get this started. First of all, damage. Can one-shot an 08 helmet or an 09 helmet up to 17 meters. I don't have goggles, but that's about this distance. That's right around here. Up close, it's 2 shots to the chest, and you can 2-shot people in the chest up to 5 meters. After that, it's usually 3 to 4 bullets to kill someone in the chest. So that's important to know. Other things. The recoil on the gun. Obviously, it has a lot of recoil. I was holding down, so just to show you the how much kick it has. But that's easily controllable if you just tap shoot. If you tap shoot, you can manage the recoil very well. If you burst shoot, not so much. It's like hit or miss. So what I would say is that you should never go full auto or burst unless you're in their face. And what I mean by in their face is like right here. Other than this distance, you should probably tap shoot as fast as you can. Or it's basically tap shoot, alright? You need to get into the habit of tap shooting, otherwise you should not be using this gun. This is not an MK3. This gun requires control. Speaking of recoil, if you are on a ramp, like this one for example, your recoil will increase by quite a bit. For example, you notice when I'm crouching and tapping right now, and you notice how much kick it had on the first 4 bullets. You see that? If I'm on a flat surface, not so much. It's much less. I wasn't controlling the recoil in this test, so I'm just saying, if you're on a ramp, just be aware of the fact that the recoil will be slightly different, so be aware of that. Zooming in provides slightly more accuracy at the cost of recoil, and the recoil is very noticeable at range. You can see the kick when you're zoomed in is much greater than when you're not zoomed in. So be aware of that. Zooming in is something that you should only do if you're trying to get the headshot, or if you are trying to have the tightest grouping possible and you can actually control this recoil like this. But you see, even I have problems controlling that recoil. Normally I would avoid using the zoom unless I absolutely have to use it. You should probably avoid any distance past 20 meters anyway with a para because it's not a long-range gun. It's meant for short distances. Basically, 5 to 15 meters is where you want to kill someone. So that's basically from here to here. That's the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot to kill someone with a para, and you want to use this whenever you can. So use that to your advantage. You want to avoid the long-range fights, and you want to avoid the in-your-face fights if possible. So yeah, those are just the basics of the gun. Now I'm going to go over proper play style. Over the past 2 years, I've kind of developed this. Normally, in my past videos, I've said crouch only. This has changed quite a bit. There's actually a new method I've come up with. It's just a 3 to 5 shot burst. And basically, it's not actually bursting, it's tapping. So when I say 3 to 5 shot burst, I mean 3 to 5 shots of tapped shooting. Like that. But, you want to tap. You never burst this gun unless you're in their face. Remember that. You should always tap this gun. So when I'm referring to 3 to 5 shot burst, it's tapping. So first of all, good habit to come into is aiming for the head at all times. This is something you just develop over time. When you're up close like this, sorry, we were on uneven land. When you're up close like this, you need to aim slightly higher than normal level to get the headshot. As he goes further across the landscape, you actually have to aim lower and lower and lower. After a couple days of practice, you should be able to understand that his head will get bigger as he comes closer. And when it does, you just need to aim slightly higher. So you just need to be able to... It's not really that drastic, but just be aware of the fact that further distances, his head's going to be a little further away. Or further down on your screen. But yes, always aim for the first... Your first bullet should always be aiming for their head, because there's nothing better than killing someone with one bullet. That's the best thing you can do in any firefight. And usually, 1 out of 3 times, you might actually get that headshot just because you've developed a good habit of aiming for the head. So always aim for the head on the first bullet. You should never be aiming like this in a game. You should always be making a conscious effort to aim like this. And if you think the guy at any distance back, and then you aim further this way. But, yeah, always aim for the head on the first bullet. Cannot stress that enough. After your first bullet, you miss, for example, or for whatever reason he tanks or something, you want to do the 3 to 5 shot burst, which is tapping 3 to 5 bullets, and then you relocate, let the crosshair recover, and then do it again. This is the proper method of using the para, and when you're doing this, you want to hold shift or control. Preferably shift, because you can move slightly and try to dodge a few bullets while doing this. But you should not be doing a full strafe while doing this, because your crosshair just gets huge, and you want to be reliable. You don't want to be random. So you always want to hold shift when you're doing it. The grouping is much tighter if you do that. Also, if you're playing an angle, like he's out there on the street, you can actually crouch and just 3 to 5 shot burst and not even move, and you actually have a lot more accuracy that way. So if I do a 3 to 5 right now, like that, then that was a terrible example. I missed all my shots, but you were moving. Well, whatever. Anyway, basically, doing that allows you to have greater accuracy than doing this, but honestly, it depends on the distance. This was the furthest distance for the sweet spot, which this is about 20 meters almost. So I would probably crouch in this situation. But if I was slightly closer, I would probably do some shift tapping and do my 3 to 5. But when you do that, just remember, after your 5 shots, so after you do this, you want to fall back to cover, and then wait for your crosshair to recover, and then do it again. And do that until he's dead. But there's more advanced methods to this. There's things you can add on to this, but I won't be going over that. These are just basic tips. Also, they all fucking heard that for us. Sick fuck. Anyway. Also, yeah.
If you're in the open area, after 5 shots, it's best to crouch instead of just strafing.
Okay, if you're in a situation where you feel like you can get the kill, or you're cornered and you can't get to cover, or if you're out in the open like this, after your 3 to 5 shots, you want to crouch. And when you crouch, you basically are committing to the kill, instead of trying to move and dodge bullets and spraying everywhere. You have to kill me, by the way, I'm out of bullets. But basically, first bullet, aim for the head. After that, you do your 3 to 5, and then you repeat that step over and over while holding shift or control. And then if you absolutely have to, then you can control the spray by crouching and then just tapping. So I'll just demonstrate this. So aim for his head, first bullet, and then after that, 3 to 5, and then after the 3 to 5, crouch. And then when you crouch, you just maintain the spray until he's dead or you're dead. That's probably the best thing to do in that situation. You want to deal damage instead of try and dodge bullets. You should never get into the habit of trying to move around and dodge bullets while trying to get a kill. You should always be trying to focus on killing instead of trying to dodge bullets. Your goal is to kill the guy, not to survive. Remember that. You have to have that mentality.
No jumping.
Right. Bad habits. Let's go over some bad habits. Strafing, one of them. Never strafe and shoot a para. Never burst fire a para while strafing. That's even worse. Never do that while jumping, like, at the same time. That's, like I'm not killing... I can't believe that just happened. My crosshair was so big. But, basically, you're gonna make a lot of people angry doing that, because... it's so random. Your bullets just happen to go everywhere. You're being so unreliable by doing that. And it's not helping. It doesn't do anything. It's so much better to just focus on aiming and getting the kill than it is to try and dodge the bullets. And I'm mentioning this multiple times because it's very important. You should always try and get the kill instead of doing all these fancy dance moves. So don't jump. Don't hold down, and then also don't strafe unless you're doing a 3 to 5 and then falling back. Because if you're just doing this and shooting, you're just being random, and that's not helping you get better. You want to control the gun, not rely on lottery bullets, basically. What's some other things I could go over?
Wall banging.
Wall banging. Okay. This gun, along with the M14 and the FG42, can wall bang certain walls. You gotta find these out for yourselves. But basically, any house wall like this, I'm pretty sure you can wall bang this. Yeah, you can wall bang this. So basically, you can wall bang a lot of walls that most guns can't. So you can use this to your advantage. I use this a lot in my videos, and in general, I get a lot of kills via wall bang. UAV helps with this because the box obviously shows where they're at and you can just wall bang them. Key to this, though, is understanding that the wall banging only works up to a certain angle. It's about this to that. This is the most angle you can shoot through a wall right here. Any more than this and they won't penetrate. So if I'm like right here, my bullets aren't going through. But if I shoot like this, it will go straight through. So, rule of thumb is basically you just want to be perpendicular to whatever you're shooting at. Like the wall, for example. You want to be directly facing it. The more you're directly facing it, the more damage your bullets will do. So that's something good to know. Wall banging is very important with this gun. But, I don't recommend doing it very often unless you're in a safe position and you can probably get the kill, or... I don't know. You have to let your game sense decide on that one. But wall banging is very important with this gun. Other things to note. The mobility. If you are just starting out in a match, don't whip out your pistol. It's much better to just keep your para out. Wherever you're going, you're going to get there just as fast with the para than you are with your pistol. So there's no reason to whip out your pistol. Especially if you're trying to rush something risky. You want to have your gun out at all times. You don't want to have your pistol and then switch to your para and have to wait a half second for it to whip out. But, yeah, anything else I should go over for us?
None, that's everything, basically.
Alright, sweet. So, this is just a basic guide on the para. There are more advanced things, but you will develop those as you, learn the gun.
And it's gonna take you time before you get it down to an average.
Yeah, you're not gonna master this overnight. It does take a little while. There are certain things you need to get used to. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. When you are tapping the gun, you should always be... You need to slightly drag down your mouse when you're tapping it, because the kick will go up, and you basically are just correcting this by dragging the mouse down while it's going up. So when I'm shooting, the bullets are all in this tiny little group here instead of being like this, where it's riding up. You want the grouping to be as small as possible, so you just slightly drag down while you're shooting. If you are zooming in and doing this, you need to do this a lot more because the recoil is obviously much higher when you're zoomed in. And the way you can help learn this is by lowering your sensitivity. The lower your sensitivity, the easier it will be for you to control that spray, because it's such a precise amount of drag that you need to do when you're shooting it that a high sensitivity mouse, you're just gonna like accidentally do this or something, and you don't want that. You want to be able to control the gun. So low sensitivity will help you control the gun. I don't think I can really go over anything else.
This is basic. That's it.
That's just basic stuff. All right, so yeah, hope this helped you guys understand this gun a little bit better. Try it out, see what you think. If I missed something or if you have a question, write a comment below, and I will read it and answer it if it makes sense or if it's a actual question, not a troll or anything. Whatever. Anyway, that's all for today. See you guys next time.